So that's why you need to be able to insert the rows. You need to be able to insert the rows. Okay? So that you can have a very comprehensive risk assessment. Okay? And then severity. Okay? Let's go into page severity. Down here. How do you evaluate? How do you score? This is American military standard score, but it's up to you on how you want to score them, to grade them. This is some sort of guidelines on how you can grade the kind of severity that you are facing. Okay, this is just a guideline based on American military standard. Okay. Okay. Any question? Okay. So let's start with ranking 10. What? Okay. 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 Hazardous without warning. Okay. May endanger operator. Failure mode affects safe vehicle operation and or involves non-compliance with government regulation. Failure will occur without warning. Okay. Okay. So this is the American military standard. Okay. Later on, I'll try to summarize. I try to simplify things up. Maybe you don't have to discriminate between 9 and 10. You don't have to discriminate between 8 and 9. Okay. Maybe we can simplify things up later on. So you score this kind of failure. Okay. May endanger operator. Once the failure can endanger not just operator but everybody, but anybody. Okay. Then the severity ranking is 10. Okay. Another one, failure mode affects safe vehicle operation and involve non-compliance with government regulation. Okay. Just now it endanger operator. The next condition is it violate government regulation. Okay. Then similarly the score is 10. Another one, may endanger operator or violate government regulation or occur without warning, fail without warning. Okay, so the score is 10. Okay, you can see the severity, the condition, the scenarios. Okay, where you can, okay, this severity is 10. Okay. And next number, ranking severity 9, may endanger operator. Okay. Failure mode affects safe vehicle operation or involve non-compliance with government regulation. Failure will occur with warning. Okay. Ada warning. It's about to fail. It's about to fail, and if it fails, it violates government law, and it will endanger operator and people surrounding it. Okay. So in those cases, you can score the input variable, the failure mode, as 9. Okay. So basically, when we do FMEA, okay, once the three risk elements is identified with a risk of 9, regardless of the RPN, those input variable must be taken action upon, regardless of RPN, because this score will later multiply with detection, frequency, occurrence, right? But in the practical world, once you have one risk element graded as 9, you can forget about RPN. You must take action immediately, because you can see the severity. Okay, the risk is very, very high. The risk is very, very severe. For can forget about the RPN. RPN is the multiplication of everything. For instance, the risk for severity is 5, the risk for frequency occurrence is 5, the risk for detection is 5, you multiply them up, everything become 125, right? Okay, fine, it's bigger than your Pareto, okay? You want to take action. No need to wait for that. Once one of the risk element scored 9, regardless of the RPN, you need to take action immediately. Okay? Next, ranking 8, risk ranking 8. Major disruption to production line. Okay? Major disruption to production line, meaning that your production line stop beyond certain minutes. Okay? Then that also will score 9. Okay? High risk to your production. 100% of product may have to be scrapped. Okay? Vehicle or item inoperable, this is in case of vehicle, become inoperable, loss of primary function. Customer very dissatisfied. Meaning that even though it lost its primary function, it does not endanger the operator. Okay? So the risk score is 8. Okay? The risk score is 8. But sometimes, if you expand the story further, for instance, this is actually what happened to me actually. If your car suddenly stop in the middle of highway, suddenly stop. My brand new car suddenly stopped in the middle of federal highway.
What car?
Tesla. No, EV. National. Some sabotage going on lah. Some sabotage actually. Okay. Immediately it does not endanger the operator. Immediately it does not endanger anything. But if the car stops in the middle of the highway, you can forget about it. If I'll give 10, because you cannot control the car anymore. Without warning. Okay? You cannot control the car anymore. That is a very high risk. Nothing happened, but stop in the middle of the road. You cannot control. You are out of control of the vehicle. So should be 10. Okay, next. High ranking 7. Minor disruption to production line. Product may have to be sorted and a portion less than 100% scrap. Vehicle operable but at a reduced level of performance. Customer dissatisfied. 7. Okay. Minor disruption to production line. Product may have to be sorted. It really depends on the perception of the economy. Kalau di US mungkin 7. Kalau di Japan mungkin 10. Mungkin 10. Okay. It really depends on the perception. Okay. Kalau di Malaysia mungkin boleh lah, right? And so you have to me since your customers are from global people, you have to follow the strictest standard lah. You have to follow the strictest standard. Okay. You can put 9 or 10 to the risk. Okay.
Tuan Syamsul,
Yeah.
ada question satu lah, tengah fikir. Asal severity macam tadi Tuan cakap kan, dia 10 saja.
Okay.
Tak usah nak fikir apa dah, calculation dia punya frekuensi apa semua.
Betul.
Terus kena
Yes.
buat something.
Yes.
Tapi bila selepas kita buat point semua ni, kita ada matrix. Kan, bila matrix ni kalau kita letak 10, tapi kalau dia punya frekuensi, dia punya occurrence jarang, mungkin 1. Akhirnya dia akan jadi rendah.
Understand? That's why when you see any risk element scored 9 and above, you forget about the RPN. Okay? Forget about the RPN. Forget about the total multiplication. You can forget about that.
Okay. sebab kita ada ISO punya prosedur pula yang kita follow tu, nanti kita kena ubah lah maksudnya.
You have to change. Seriously. Because this one is standard. One, you have a risk, or the other way around. You start 8.
For example, Cik.
Hmm?
For example.
Macam kereta breakdown tadi letak 10, tapi dia jarang berlaku.
Dia jarang
without
berlaku.
warning. So of course satu saja kan.
Understand?
Contohnya kalau dia pakai tiga bilah,
You should
dia
have.
ada mirror yang sangat kualiti lah, berapa ratus ringgit untuk satu kecil mirror lah. Mirror tu kalau jatuh ataupun retak ataupun kotor, walaupun ada smash, ada habuk pun, mesin kita tak operasi lah.
Understand?
So benda tu severity lah, high. Jadi benda tu jarang sangat berlaku. Okay, contohnya kita buat lah punya occurrence satu berapa ke.
Understand?
Final score dia, okay. So itu kita, but still kita kena ambil action.
Okay.
Tapi severity tu dia takkan, kita ambil action macam mana pun, severity tu kalau berlaku masih ada. Betul, betul kita kata kita dah buat action macam-macam pun, tapi kalau berlaku dia masih severe. So
Understand?
macam non-continuous, kita tetap perlu ambil action terhadap benda kita dah ambil action.
Okay. That one, you can reduce the severity dekat sini. Okay, dekat sini dekat
Step action.
action recommended. Risk mitigation. Your action will be mitigating the risk.
Dia akan reduce the occurrence, dia akan reduce, dia boleh detect, kita akan lebih boleh detect, maksudnya detectance dia pun kira rendah, tapi kalau berlaku dia masih severe.
Understand? So you have to mitigate on the design. Understand?
At the same time kita punya metric pun kita kena review sebab bila comes to like dia tak, risiko dia mild ataupun low, kita tak ada pun requirement yang mengatakan kita kena buat action plan dan sebagainya.
Okay, the point is you punya glass tu small, kalau rosak dia akan severity dia very high, right? Tapi dia jarang berlaku. So now what you need to take action on is to reduce, to mitigate the risk of severity. Either you work on how to reduce the cost of replacing the glass, you change the design so that even when it fall, it will not break. So that's how you're going to reduce the severity. Understand?
Tapi itu kalau within our control lah.
Itu beyond kita punya control lah.
Kalau beyond our control, then how can we try?
Beyond your control meaning kan?
Maksudnya kita boleh request
Macam
pada supplier apa, request pada HQ sebab design HQ.
Okay.
But still dia akan
macam case tu Anna, kereta breakdown in the middle of highway.
Yeah.
That one is beyond kita punya control kan.
Yeah.
Ada somebody sabotage or
That one is beyond my control. But the supplier, they need to take action on that risk. Okay. They need to analyze why this car break down without any sign, without any notification. Okay. So they should take action on that, so that it will not recur. Okay. So by doing improvement on that particular risk element, they can reduce the severity. Understand?
Okay. Sama
Okay.
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 Jadi kalau case yang sama apply kepada macam kita,
Okay.
yang tuan kata supplier tu
Okay.
adalah kita punya supplier lah.
Yes.
So boleh ke kita
They are your supplier. You know?
that inside kita punya FMEA tu kita boleh kata request supplier to do improvement.
Yes.
Tapi still tak ada perubahan. Akhirnya
So long as ada perubahan, then you still keep doing the request lah. You still need to work for the improvement.
dengan setiap kali revision dia akan still high severity.
Yes. Selagi so long there's no improvement, then severity will be 9, and you still need to do something about the severity. Okay.
Kalau contoh banyak severity.
Nasib
Terlampau banyak barang.
baik you datang kelas ni.
dan
Okay.
kita punya scoring pun tak sampai 10. Kita punya scoring just 5 saja.
Understand. But again, if you look at the template, the severity score, anything that threats life, the operator or the people surrounding it, okay, and anything that violates the law, score will be very high. Not necessarily life-threatening. Life-threatening meaning people are going to die. Even if it will endanger the operator or the people surrounding it when it malfunction, then the severity definitely will go to straight away and put them 10. Okay, violate any law, straight away put them 10. Okay, that's the guideline. That's how it looks like. Okay. Okay, let's get back to the score. We have gone through the higher severity. Okay, now let's take a look what does mild and moderate and low means. Minor disruption to production line. Okay, let's get back to the higher severity. If you really don't want it to happen, then you just simply grade 10 is okay. Okay. For instance, it's not severe. Okay. But some people cannot accept it. Okay. Nobody is going to die. Again, back to perception. The Westerners, the Japanese, our perception. Okay. For instance, in Japan, they can't even tolerate people, talk loudly in the train. That is 10 severity. They grade that scenario as very severe. People don't talk loudly in the train. Your phone is in silent mode in the train, in public area, public space. So for them, that is very, very severe. For another example, whatever you promise, for instance, schedule, okay, the bus schedule, the plane schedule, the train schedule, your meeting schedule, okay, if you violate that schedule, meaning that you already broken your promises. So breaking your promises, to them, severity is 10. That's why AirAsia failed in Japan. AirAsia once upon a time, I think around 2016, they ventured into Japan because currency was so big. For a Japanese to spend few hundred ringgit for a short flight is nothing to them because they pay the same amount of money for their Shinkansen. But they totally failed. Nobody want to go with AirAsia because they don't keep the schedule. They don't keep the departure schedule. They don't keep the landing schedule. Nobody want to go with AirAsia even for vacation. Vacation, no? Not business trip. Vacation pun, that is, perception. To them, not being punctual, severity is 10. Okay? Okay. Minor disruption to production line. 100% of product may have to be reworked. Vehicle item operable but some comfort, convenience items operable at reduced level of performance. Customer experiences some dissatisfaction. Okay, these are not so critical. Okay, the critical part is anything above moderate. Okay, so anything above moderate that you really hate so much that you don't want your customer to experience that. Okay, you don't want your customer to to go through bad experience. Anything above 5, anything above moderate, you can put them 10 if you want. Definitely you need to do something about that. You don't want your customer to suffer, right? That will give a terrible experience. Nowadays, zaman-zaman social media ni, alamak, nasi lemak tak sedap pun masuk social media. Janganlah main-main. So anything above moderate, okay? Contohlah ni, minor disruption to production line, minor disruption to your handphone, minor disruption to your nasi lemak. Ada nasi lemak yang rasa pedas sikit, ada nasi lemak yang rasa masam sikit. Still boleh makan? Tak ada yang mati, tak melanggar undang-undang. Tapi consequences dia satu dunia akan tahu. Bukan orang Senayan dia tahu.
Sedap pun sedap.
So on so that the effect will be mitigated, so that our customers won't suffer, thus we ourselves will not suffer based on the consequences. Okay, that's the purpose of doing this. Okay, so anything that you think your customer cannot tolerate, the slightest thing. The worst thing about social media, is that regardless of the severity, so long as you have the content, you can generate money. That turns into your bad luck. You can convert into money. Okay, your bad experience, you can convert them into content, and this content will get a lot of likes, a lot of share, that generate a lot of money. That is the problem with the social media. I don't know whether it's a problem or not. So long as if you want to convert it into your own benefit, so you can, prevent them from happening. Okay, you can prevent all these misfortune from happening to your customer. The only way is by identifying these low risk, like 5, like 6, as a bigger risk, so that you can work on them. Okay, you can work on them to prevent from your customer experiencing a misfortune, so that it will not be a bad content for you. They would like to make content out of anything, whether it is bad or good, but the worst thing is they prefer a misfortune kind of content, because that generate more income. Orang kemalangan ke banyak orang tengok, orang happy ke banyak orang tengok? Orang kemalangan banyak orang tengok, banyak orang like, banyak orang share. That generates a lot of income for them, So you have to be very, very careful when you want to. This will generate a lot of work for you, I know. But so long as you start working on it, okay, macam my comment to him yesterday, he has a lot of risk that we want to do in one go. My fear is that if you don't prioritize, you will not solve anything. So you will have to start on something with the biggest misfortune. Nasib tak baik. Okay, you will have to start on something that will trigger a bigger loss. Okay, and then the next one, and then the next one. You give it some time, maybe in 1 or 2 years, everything will go away. Okay, but you have to start slowly, one by one. Okay, and again, the low or very low or minor or very minor in terms of severity are not important at all. Okay, you can group them together into one. Okay, and anything above moderate, I advise you, in the era of social media, for your own sake, please identify them as 9 or 10. You don't want your news to be in the circulation in TikTok or in Instagram, Okay, you have to avoid them. There's no other way around. Okay. Okay. Next is occurrence. How are you going to score them? How are you going to grade them? Okay. Probability of failure very high. Possibility failure rates 1 in 2. CPK less than 0.33. You familiar with CPK? Okay. CPK is capability measurement, but I don't want to use CPK. I normally use that bench. Okay. This is simple calculation. Okay, simple calculation. You can use it as a capability as well as your control charts. Okay. Ranking time. The simpler way to look at it is the possible failure rates here. Okay. Very high. 1 in 2, 50%. 1 in 2. Meaning that 50% of the event fails. Okay. 50% of the event fails. Okay. This is for occurrence. For occurrence. 50% of the event, this is terrible. Again, go back to perception. Okay, the American, the Japanese, the Malaysian. Okay, how you know how impatient are we? How impatient are we? Okay, this is very severe. Okay, our failure, and then ranking 9, failure is almost inevitable. Okay, 1 in 3, 30% fail. 30% of the event fail. 30% of the trial fail. Okay. Generally associated with process similar to previous. 1 in 8. Okay. 1 in 8 is like 12.5%, right? 12.5%. Score 8. Again. Okay. Again, this is social media era. People become people are not so patient. If you call, then it's keep failing. Forget about 30%. Forget about 10%. People can only try, I think, twice nowadays before they start complaining in TikTok. If you fail them so many times, nowadays you will be very, very popular. Okay? Forget about 10%. I think even if you fail them 1 in 10, okay, especially when you are dealing with public, sometimes you are dealing with the corporations, then these people are hired to use the product, and sometimes they have strong limitations. But when you are dealing with the public, for instance, anybody watch the YouTube clip when the hospital surgeon, the caretaker of the patients, when he burst off because he has to wait for the specialist to attend to his father. He was waiting from 8 o'clock until 8 at night. Anybody watch that? Okay, that was very severe. To me, if he had to wait up until 12 afternoon, already severe. Okay, so, and I believe those are normal occurrence in Sudan because they have not improved anything. Okay, because they have shortages of specialists over there. Okay, so to me, even though 8 o'clock until 12 is only 4 hours, even though it's only 4 hours, even though it's only 3 hours, because normally as a geriatric myself, orang tua, okay, some people say geriatric is like after 60, but I am already 50 something. So your visit to the hospital shouldn't take more than half a day. Okay, because there are a lot of processes that you have to go through. You have to wait at the clinic. Then once you get a prescription, maybe you have to go for blood draw. They want to take your blood sample. Afterwards, only you go for some appointment, and then finally you go to the pharmacy. So all these processes shouldn't take more than half a day. You should complete them by 12 o'clock. Okay. So whatever the suggestion here, you can ignore based on your clients. You should prioritize the score here based on your voice of customer. If your customer cannot tolerate, nak kena dah 2-3 kali baru dapat 2-3 kali, then 3 kali should score 9. Okay, this is just a guideline. Everything depends on your customer. Okay, everything depends on to what level you want to improve to. Okay, you cannot follow this. This is an old material, old standard, old value. Okay, you have to come up with your own standard. Okay, and depends on your customer. Okay, if your customer is Masaleh, then maybe they don't care. If your customer is a Japanese, you cannot fail at the second attempt. First, okay, fine, they may blame it to the weather or whatever. The second time, the second attempt, you cannot fail that. So fail twice, the second attempt, okay, is already 9. Okay, it's already 9. Okay, you don't have to wait, for more than twice. You don't have to wait for more than twice, because nowadays the customer's patience is getting thinner. Okay, they cannot wait, so you have to do better than the standard. This recommendation. Okay. Moderate generally associated with process similar to 1 in 80. Okay, ranking 6. So depends your customer. Okay. If your customer can't wait, then it cannot happen. You cannot wait for it to happen very regularly to rate the risk higher. Okay, just rate the risk higher immediately so that you can focus on solving them. Okay, this is about occurrence. Okay. Next, let's go into our detection. Okay, detection. Detection is about the likelihood, the existence. Okay, likelihood, the existence of a defect will be detected by test content before product advances to next or subsequent process. Okay. Likelihood it can be detected. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at almost impossible. Okay. Meaning that when you do a test, it is impossible to detect less than 80% of the failures. So the severity is 10. Again, this is just a guideline so that you have the idea of how to come up with a grading format, okay, for your product. And of course, Femi, I want you to consider your customer, communicate with them, get their feedback. Okay, especially you have your salespeople, communicate with your salespeople to what extent they can be patient with your performance, so that you can come up with